Look, the weather here along the Florida Emerald Coast is absolutely crazy. We may have 20 and 30 degree temperatures in the winter. We've got 100-degree temperatures in the summer. Humidity is freaking unbelievable. I go try run at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're like sweating before you ever even start. We do have the occasional hurricanes, but residents need to be prepared. If you're relocating to our area, you may think it's gonna be rainbows and unicorns and butterflies all year round. That is just not the case. People who think are moving to Florida and it's always hot is wrong. There's different places in Florida. Yes, of course, further south is gonna stay warm all year round. Here, we have all 4 seasons. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the reasons I like it here, because we do get the chance to wear jeans and sweatshirts and boots and everything else in the wintertime because it actually gets a little bit cold. So many believe that living here is like being on a constant vacation too. The reality is, believe it or not, folks, we've got jobs. We gotta work. Nothing like epitomizes this more than like when your family comes to visit and they're here hanging out on the beach and they're like, what do you mean you gotta work? Like they think we just sit around here and do nothing all day long? They come here on vacation, they expect us to be on vacation too, and that's just not the reality of how it works here. As a matter of fact, when my family comes to town and they go to the beach, like that's the last place I wanna be because it's too damn hot. I'd rather be in the air conditioner. But as locals here, we have regular jobs, we have school, we got daily routines, just like everybody that's visiting here has back at their house. And the influx of tourists during peak season, like, makes my life even more hectic during the summer. So the last thing I want to do is purposely get myself into hecticness. Is that a word, hecticness? So another thing is the cost of living here along the Florida Emerald Coast is typically higher than most people expect. When they get here, they realize that housing costs more, food costs more, like everything is a little bit escalated in price here along this beautiful Florida Emerald Coast. One of the things that has gotten out of control the last few years is property insurance. That has gotten completely crazy. My property insurance since I bought my house in 2019 has gone up 4x, 4 times what it was when I bought my house. Recently it dropped back down a little bit, and that's because there's some more insurance companies coming back into Florida, which is gonna be good for everyone. Florida waterfront properties are especially expensive. People don't realize, I wanna move to Florida to live on the water. Like, get out your checkbook and your cousin's checkbook and your mom's checkbook, because it costs a lot to live on the water here in Florida. And another thing to think about too is tourism has gone up dramatically in our area. COVID helped us out. Florida was open, wide open the whole time, so it helped bring a lot of people here, and a lot of people discovered our area. Like, we used to be kind of a off-the-mark type place, but now it's become more of a norm. People know Destin, Florida. They know our area. They know the Emerald Coast. Hell, Taylor Swift put us in her damn song. But because of that, the beaches are now more crowded. The roads are now more crowded. The peak season lasting a little bit longer than it has before. And residents are having to deal with the everyday traffic being more and more and more than it was just years ago. So if you do decide to move to Florida and you do want to own beachfront property, this involves complex regulations and potential issues related to erosion, property boundaries, and public access laws. There are also specific rules and restrictions regarding construction and maintenance on beachfront properties. Another thing that people are shocked with is you can't just take your dog on the beach. You got to get a permit, and only certain times of the day can you actually take your dog on the beach. So look into that. If you think you're just going to get down here and let Fido run up and down the beach all day long, you're mistaken. Also, the job market here in our area is heavily influenced by the tourism, right? Finding a stable year-round employment could be challenging for you if you're in certain industries like real estate, healthcare, emergency services, and education. It goes up and down, right? Some people assume that living in a coastal paradise means like less need for being ready for emergencies. Like, we're all just like here living our best life and not paying attention to what's going on in the world. However, we've got to be ready for hurricanes, tropical storms, flooding, which can require a ton of preparation and resources. But as well as if one of them were to happen to hit here, we've got a lot of reconstruction to do. So there's a lot of risk living here along the beautiful Florida Emerald Coast. And properties and maintenance of those properties are higher than other areas. Because of the salt water and the corrosion that it causes, like air conditioners don't last as long as they do in other areas. Your barbecue pit doesn't last as long. Like, anything metal erodes over time because of all the salt that's in the air. So you have to take additional steps to upkeep your house. Like, for example, I've got some exterior lights at my house. Our house, we just put them on 5 years ago. They're already ready to be changed out because they've got corrosion and they've started to rust really bad because of all the salt in the air. So thinking about those little things, those are things that people don't take into consideration when they're planning a relocation to the beautiful Florida Emerald Coast. Also, things that people miss when they get here is some of the cultural and social activities compared to the bigger cities, right? Like, that was one of the big things that I was in shock of once I got here and decided to stay. I was from St. Louis originally. Like, we had hockey, football, baseball, basketball, like college basketball, the St. Louis Billikens. Like, we had all the sports, we had all stuff, plenty of stuff to do, all times. I just thought about that. Maybe that led to some of my drinking that got out of control. Now, anyway, there was a lot of social activities, a lot of things to keep you busy, a lot of things to do. When you get here, there isn't a lot of those things. You got to go 2 hours to go to Tallahassee for a college football game. You know, a pro baseball game is probably, gosh, Atlanta maybe? So those are things you don't think about, things you're gonna miss when you're moving from a big city to the beautiful Florida Emerald Coast. But in return, life slows down a little bit. You get to take it easy a little bit. And nothing beats the southern hospitality that majority of the people here provide for each other. It is definitely refreshing coming from a northern state to get down here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Kids holding the door for you. It's a different world. Hope you found this video helpful. Have a wonderful day.